Howdy gang, Michelle here, and welcome to November. It's not quite November at the time of this recording, but when you watch this, it will be. So, this pattern I am calling LaRue, and the reason why is I went back and I started binging one of my favorite shows again, which is called True Blood. If you haven't watched it, you really should. It's awesome. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Anyway, and they're in Louisiana during the filming of this, and I love some of the characters and the whole thing. So I was inspired by that, and in making this hat, that's why I decided to call it LaRue. Anyway, so for this one, I'm using my 80 peg small gauge loom, and I'm going kind of small with, or lightweight, I should say, with the yarn that I'm using. For this, I am using Yarn Bee Chloe, and this color is called Arctic Spruce. It's really nice, lightweight. This is actually the same yarn, just a different color that I used for my mermaid lace, but I really like it. If anybody is like me, you guys know that I have just crazy long hair and it's really thick. So I like wearing hats that are a little breathable and are kind of lightweight. So that's why I'm using this. And I'm really digging these sea colors, you know, with the blues and greens and stuff like that. But you can do this on a larger gauge loom because this is worked in multiples of 4. So you can use the chunky 48, you can use the 36, you can use the 72, whatever you like. If you are going to use a 41 peg loom, obviously you're going to have one extra. So whatever your last stitch is, just repeat that and make sure it's at the back of the hat, so that way, you know, when you wear it, it doesn't look wonky. So the thing I like about this is it's got a lot of different, now I know like this, it just kind of looks plain and boring, but let's flip it over. Now, my husband says this is a two-face hat, and I'm going to show you why. Sorry. So here you can kind of see what I'm talking about, maybe because of the colors. Okay. So this bottom part, the brim area, it's a larger brim, but it really works. So you have to split your loom into 2 when you mark it. So as you can see, here's my starter peg. And then I have this line right here, but then on this side, you see I have it marked one way. And then here's my other side. And this is marked also, but it's up high, so it looks like it's empty this way to me. And the reason why is on the pattern, I put that you should mark, like if you're using this 80 peg, mark half of your pegs. This area is going to be the garter area. And then the second area, the front part of it, is going to be a garter and knit area. So what I mean by that is this right here, this is the back side. This is just all garter. Okay. But the front side, it's kind of similar what you guys have done with, if you've ever done a CC beanie, similar to that, but it's only part of the hat. Okay. So the back again is all garter. But this, you can see, and I love how the colorway worked up with this, because where the garters are, it is a mix of the green and the blue. But then in the knit areas, it's solid for the most part. So front, and this right here is going to curl a little bit, but once it's all done, you can steam it. It'll sit just fine. Or actually, once you put it on, it's going to be fine as well. So we're going to do 4 sets of garter total here, and then 3 sets of knit. So you're going to start whatever way you want to cast on. I did a no hook crochet cast on, and then you're going to do 3 sets of garter, meaning, and when you're working this, you're going to go all the way around when you're in the garter sections here. Okay. So 1 set is 1 round of knit, 1 round of purl. That's 1. So you're going to do 3 sets of that. Then on the area that you marked off, you're going to keep gartering this backside. On the area that you did not mark, after you're done the 3 sets of garter, you're going to do 6 rows of just knit. True knit, U-knit, not E-wrap. Okay, that's going to give you this break right here where it's garter and then knit. Then you're going to go back and do 3 sets of garter, 6 knit, 3 sets of garter, 6 knit, 3 sets of garter. Okay, so that's going to give you this. Once you have this section done, that's basically your brim area. Now your front's going to look like this. Your back is just going to be all garter. Then we're going to go into the body of it. And if you guys have done or watched my linen stitch video, it's very similar to that, but a little different. So the top part of this, again, it's worked in sets of 4, multiples of 4. You can kind of see right there. I'm stretching it out so you can see. Is going to be 2 knit and then 2 work yarn in front. And then you're going to alternate. So what I mean by that is right here. So say the bottom part with the garter and the knit is done and we're focusing on the body. That's what this chart is for, is just the body. So rows 1 and 2, you got a total of multiples of 8 rows. And it works over 4, but I showed you 8. I always like to extend it out a little for everybody. Rows 1 and 2 is just knit. True knit, U-knit, no E-wrap. I cannot say that enough. Then 3 and 4, you're going to slip the working yarn in front, which I'm going to show you, which a lot of you guys probably already know. Again, if you've ever watched my linen stitch video, it's the same concept, but we're doing it for 2 rows instead of 1. So 3 and 4 are work yarn in front and then knit 2. 5 and 6, just knit, true knit, U-knit, no E-wrap. And then 7 and 8 is knit 2 and work yarn in front with 2. Okay, so where I left off on this one is I just finished 8. So now I'm going to go down to 1 and do 1 and 2, which is just simply knit. Okay. Again, if a regular U-knit is good for you, remember your yarn is just supposed to glide through your fingers. So if you're saying that your tension is too tight, don't do U-knit. A lot of people will find that true knit, which is just same thing as purl, but it's in the opposite direction. So with purl, we go from the top to the bottom. True knit, we go from the bottom up, scoop it from the top through the bottom, take it off and put it on there. It's like driving to the store and there's a couple of different routes to get there. You're still getting it to the same destination. It's still the same store. You're just getting there in a different way, meaning it's going to look the same no matter if you do a U-knit or true knit. Okay. For me, because I am well adjusted with my tension, I just literally let the yarn glide through my fingers. I just prefer to do U-knit. So I'm going to do rows 1 and 2. And I'm going to pause my video while you guys, through the magic of YouTube, see me in a couple of seconds. All right, so I am coming up on the last couple of pegs for round 2. I already knitted round 1. This is round 2 that I'm completing right now. There we go. That's the last one. All right, so 1 and 2 are done, which is just regular knit. Okay, U-knit, true knit, no E-wrap. You guys are going to have this burned into your head. Now, for 3 and 4, you can see I'm going to work that yarn in front. Up here, you can see my abbreviation code. I also have the legend over here. So you guys will never be like, I'm not sure what I need to do when it comes to my patterns. Now, other pattern writers, I can't say the same thing for them. But for mine, you guys always know what to do. Anyway, 3 and 4 is work yarn in front. for pegs 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, because this is in multiples of 4. We're going to do knit. Okay. So to work yarn in front, like I said, if you've ever watched my linen stitch video, you know exactly what to do. It's like you're going to do a purl, but you're not dropping that loop back on. So you're going to scoop it, create that new loop, as you can see, but I'm just going to drop that loop right over the top and tug it a little bit. Scoop it, make that loop, drop it right over the top and let it go. And then just knit these two. And when you do that, it gives you these lines right here where the yarn works right across those 2 pegs. All right, so I just knit those other 2. So, and this is where I use these marks that I have here on the peg. Oh, excuse me, on the loom. So I know for 3 and 4 in my personal notes, and you can put this down if you want, I mark, you know, every other 2 pegs with this line. So that way I know on 3 and 4 where these lines are is where I have to work the yarn in front. On what is it, 7 and 8, I know that I have to do the empty ones. Okay, so that way if I walk away, as long as I know what row I'm on, I'm good to go. And I'll usually drop that down in either a notepad next to me or in my app, whatever. All right, so scoop it, create that new loop, and just drop it over, tug it a little bit. You don't have to pull it real hard. Your yarn didn't do anything to you that you have to be mean to it. Knit these 2. And you're going to repeat that for row 3 and row 4. And then row 5 and 6, you're just going to knit again. And then 7 and 8, you're going to do knit 2, work yarn in front 2. So for me, any 2 pegs that don't have a mark in front of it, what I like to call my naked pegs, those are the ones that I know I have to work my yarn in front. All right, so I'm going to stop here for one quick second. Now, the other question I get asked a lot is, Michelle, how do you measure the length of your hat? How do you know that you have enough? What I do, I have my handy dandy measuring tape. Isn't she cute? And for me, I will go to my starter peg, which is this one right here. And I take my measuring tape, I drop it through, and I make sure that this line, which is my start line, matches up with where my yarn is. Okay. Then I put my thumb right here and I put my tape down. I let it drop down through the center of the loom. And then I don't pull it, but I tug it slightly, especially for this one, because it will have a tendency to bounce up. And then I get the true measurement that way from the bottom. So for this one, I'm at about, it looks like 7 inches, just about 7 inches. And I like to go between 8.5 to 9 inches with mine. And then I start my 4 peg decrease. But it's up to you, depending on if you're doing the hat for an adult or if you're doing the hat for a child. But that's how I measured. Now, the other question is if somebody is using the multi-loom or the adjusted hat loom and it's got the rounded edges on it, how do you measure from there? Always measure on the straightaway part. Not, you know, if you're working in the oval, you don't want to measure around the corners because that's not going to give you a true measurement. Always measure on one of the straightaway sections. That way you know that you have true measurement, because the edges will sometimes seem longer and it's going to throw your measurement off. And then when the hat's done, it's going to be shorter than what you thought. And you're going to be like, what the heck? Now you know. All right, gang. So there you go. I am going to finish up mine a couple more rows, a couple more inches, and bind that off. And I'll have a finished product for you guys. And for you level 3, stay tuned. I have something cozy and comfy, and I can't wait to show you guys. Talk to you soon. Happy looming. Bye.